Morning. It is the weekend. I was thinking of going away for the weekend or just doing a trip out today, but I've decided while the weather's nice, I'll get a bit of stuff done on the van. For example, this mesh here from a fan, that needs a good clean off, as does the actual fan itself. So I think that is going to be job number 1 for the day. Job number 2 will be, I think, starting to draw out ideas for some sort of divider slash cabinet here for storage to make more use of that space, and that bit down there. Because as much as it would be nice to go out on an adventure, now I've used it, I know there's some stuff that needs a bit of tweaking that will make it better for me next time. So it's a nice day out, it's fairly warm, 16 degrees inside the van. That's how I like it. So let's get cracking on this then. And that view will never get old, especially in this weather. Before I get in there with damp rags and whatnot, what I'm going to do is vacuum it and see how much I can get off dry. And this is the part that excites me the most about this. That's so damn convenient. And yes, I can run a vacuum off my mains in the van without being plugged into shore power. So let's see how much this is going to do for us. Let's get the right bit on first. Well, that's not done too bad. It's got quite a bit of it off, but not much up here. The rest of it's just kind of greasy, slimy. So I'm going to have to get the damp rags out on that, I think. Which means I need to go find some rags. Right. That sun's not lasted too long. Clouds have already come in. I'll put you there. Let's see. Oh, this is going to be fun. Yeah, Dad says it's given out a bad afternoon, so try and get this done this morning. In fact, I may end up giving the van a wash this morning and I can finish this off this afternoon if I want. How the heck does it get so dirty and greasy in there? Okay. I don't think you're going to be all that interested in watching me slowly do this. I mean, maybe if I did it as a live stream or something. Might save that for one day. But I'm going to crack on with this and play some music. That I can't play on the video, else I'll get copyrighted, so I'd rather not do that. There's where we've got done so far. There's no way I'm going to be able to get all the way up into there. I think you'd probably have to go on the roof and take the actual full thing off to do that. And there is no chance I am doing that today. Although maybe once a year could be worth it. Actually, that's a good point. I know the clear one lets light through, but if it's going to get all dirty and greasy anyway, would it be better off with like the black one or something? Ah well, I'll crack on with that and I'll catch up again once it's done. Well, there we go, that's about as clean as I'm able to get that. There is a set screw there. However, I think that when it was built, it was chewed up a little bit because I've got a set screw that's too small, one that's too big, one that actually goes in there, but it doesn't grip. So I can't get the blades off to actually clean up properly further behind that, because then I'd be able to get into there, clean these arms. I could still probably clean those arms a bit actually. And even up into the hood. But it's better than it was. The mesh is drying outside at the minute, so once that's dried I'll put that back in. I think the next little project I'm going to look at is hanging kitchen towel under here somewhere. Make a little holder for it. So I'll look in the garage and see what we've got for that. Change of plan for the day. My sister wants some help digging some holes in her garden, so I'll be shooting off over there just as soon as I've had some dinner. No, that's not a crack. Good. So I've used a hose to blast off the mesh for this. Clean that up better. That's currently drying off. I'll stick that back on later when I'm back. And then tomorrow shall be trying to sort something out for hanging kitchen towel. Then I think I'll start trying to draw out the ideas of what I want to do down there and up there, but also I might remake this little drawer that the fridge freezer's sitting on. Try to make it so it doesn't vibrate so much, because the noise isn't much of an issue, but sometimes at night when it kicks in you feel the whole van shaking, so I'll see if I can dampen that a bit and also make the front a full piece up to here and make it more flush. One of the reasons it sticks out this far is originally I was going to have ducting for the heater feed behind that into the cab, but I've not done that. I'm not going to be doing that, so I can push that fridge a little further back, make that nice and flush, and then finish off a bit of a trim up around here. So, I think I've got everything I need to take across with me. Work gloves, I've got my old work boots from work. The wind's picked up as well, and the rain is due in about 3 o'clock. I shall likely pick this up when I'm back. It's a good job I didn't go away this weekend. And I'm back, done at my sister's. Helped dig a hole, straighten out a couple of trees, or will-be trees. And we finished it just in time for the rain. So now I'm back. Gonna put this back on. And there we go. One clip. 2 clip. 3. And there we have it. One nice clean fan again. If anybody from MaxxAir does happen to be watching this, which I seriously doubt, could you tell me what size screw that's supposed to be? The Allen key. Because I'm pretty sure that is chewed up and could do with replacing. If I do ever manage to get it out. So the other job that I wanted to do is going to have to wait till tomorrow now. Yes. What I shall do later then is start thinking about the bookcase for going under the bed and how I'm going to store stuff down there. Turns out I still have some wooden beams left from the build that I used to make the cabinets and stuff with, the actual structure of them. So that's going to be handy. I will probably end up having to buy a bit more ply though. Especially the thick stuff to redo this fridge, shelf, drawer. But that's not going to be a today thing either. I think for the minute I'm pretty much done, all I can do. I think that's warped a bit. Never mind, it still does its job. Right, okay. In that case, I'll likely pick this up again a bit in the evening. I am ready for some food. Tea was a Chinese, which was nice. So now I'm back in the van, and what I'm looking at here is under the bed. Now what I need to remember if I'm putting something here is, this is my access to the electrics there. So if I ever need to change a fuse or anything, I need to get in there. I mean, I can take the toilet out and get through that way a little bit. But with this here, it's not quite as easy. So I need to be able, whatever I do here, to get this. So that's either move this cabinet out if I need to, which would be a pain, to be honest. But I thought, since I have some of these beams left, I could put another one level with this here down there to act as a framing. What I'm currently trying to decide is, what would I do with this room back here? So what might be better actually is building something facing this way. I mean, I could get potentially my gas bottles for the cooker down here, would probably be safer than putting them up on the shelf there. What I wanted to do was put my cheese wedges, levelling chocks, onto this here wheel arch. Wow, that's dusty. So I was going to put a piece of wood up the front there to stop them from falling over. They'd fit just nicely. If I put a cabinet across here, it's going to stop me from being able to get around that corner. Unless, of course, I leave an open side there. But then I'll still need to move out whatever I've put in here so I can get there. Seems like a bit of a waste. Or, I'm just trying to think of Mum and Dad's kitchen now. Or, I could essentially put a wall all across this bit here. Have shelves here and then just be able to get round into that. That could work. If I did that, that would go to there. That would be deep enough for bookshelves. That might be the way to go here, because otherwise, if I had a cabinet that came up across here, I would have to crawl in through the back to get at this back space here. Which if I put my trucks and stuff there wouldn't be easy. So yeah, I'm thinking some sort of divider down the back here might be best. Because this pad here doesn't come up level to the front of the wheel arches. You can maybe get the perspective on that. So you can see where that electric box is. This here is attached to the front of that wheel arch box. And this pad comes well behind it. Although this box here is actually deeper. That's probably more the depth that I want, really, to be honest. Which also would mean I have more room to slide this back and get at those electrics. Yeah, I think that's going to be the idea then. I think that might be what I'll go with. Some sort of... Yeah, I can't push that back any further. Question. Oops. What's the depth there? Okay, I could get away with that. Yeah. I think that's what I'll go with. In fact, How could I do this here? So if I had a shelf on the level with the wheel arch that came across. Oh no, how would... Ah. Because this here can slide in and out, I can't really attach anything to that. Also, I wouldn't want a shelf coming this far out because that will limit me getting to that. These are the things you really have to think through when you're doing van stuff. A lift-out cabinet could work, but it would just be a pain. Although it should be a rare thing that I ever need to get at those electrics. But knowing my luck, damn, I can't get a hold of any cardboard anymore to do a mock-up. Any of those big sheets that I used. That one is a puzzler. Because I don't want to waste that space down the back there. I suppose the other thing I could do is cut a hole into that back piece there so I can reach around to something that way. Although that would mean having to take the water tank out and cut into a piece that's already there, solid and working well for me. No, I'm not doing that. Scrap that idea. Oh, that's the light. Ha. That's something to take a look at tomorrow when it isn't raining. This one up here should be relatively straightforward, I believe. What I'm thinking is a piece up here. Oh, you can't see that. A piece up here and the same on this side. And then a shelf across the middle part. Then I'd have two like side holey things there. Although I'll be in absolutely no rush to do that, because that one will take a lot of shaping work. I mean, alternatively, I could probably be okay with a couple of boxes like that. Like that one. I could fit another 2, maybe 3 on there. But there's just a lot of space not being used. Actually, I think that might be the better option, is just have a couple of these on here. And then what I could do is I could throw these covers on top of them boxes there where they're out of the way, when not in use on the windows. That might be the best plan for up there. In fact, that is what I'm going to do. And if that doesn't work for me, then I can build something in there, rather than build something in there and figure out that doesn't work anyway. So yes, I shall do that, which means I only need to figure out what to do down here. But again, it's raining, and I don't want to mess with that right now. Something else that I have noticed is a drip right there. And it looks like it's underneath the actual thing there. So I'm really hoping, I don't know if that's going to show too well there. Can you see it there? Yeah. I can see that drip underneath there. So I'm really hoping that is not the window leaking through. Oh, actually, you know what? I can actually see it's where I've opened the door and it's dripped, gone down. There, you can see it, and that is right in line about... No, it's not. I'm hoping that's just where I've had the door open and it's dripped through, but I am going to have to keep an eye on that little bit there. That'll be annoying. This window's held up incredibly well. That's going to be it for today. I am going to go read for a bit or something, enjoy a nice cider, because I wouldn't enjoy a not nice cider, because it wouldn't be nice. So overall, pretty successful day. I got that nice and clean. I've started figuring out more what I want down there. Tomorrow's job, hopefully, will be to get a kitchen roll holder attached to the bottom of that shelf. And like I say, just keeping an eye on this window now. Righty then, that is today done and dusted. As usual, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. About 70, how much is it? 75%, 77% of viewers aren't subscribed. Would be nice if you did. And leave a like and a comment, it helps out. So enjoy whatever it is you are currently doing. I mean, other than watching this. Sunday. I've decided I'm going to tack this onto the end of Saturday, rather than a separate video, since there's not a whole lot of update. So, first things first, the kitchen roll holder isn't up. I went to B&Q with Mum and Dad. Didn't find anything there to use that would be helpful. I went up to town earlier for a walk as well and ended up looking around B&M. Nothing there either, so I'm going to have to make my own. Should be straightforward enough, that'll be this week's job. What I did get from B&Q though, something that I've been thinking about doing for a while, is a carpet / rug to go there. I obviously need to take the label off. But that'll help just protect the floor, especially from the fridge shelf. I think that's something else I'm going to start looking at doing this week as well, is rebuilding that drawer for the fridge. I can reuse some of this material for the under the bed storage bit as well. I've decided what I'm going to do here is some sort of cupboard down in this bit here. And then I'll just stack a couple of these and keep them in place with bungee cords. I'll do that to start with, see how that goes. So as far as the van, that's all I've got for you. I have just started rereading Harry Potter, which so far has been quite nice, relaxing escapism. I know I've reread some of the books. I don't know if I've ever reread the entire series through. But either way, I haven't touched them for about 20 years. Which just doesn't sound right that it's that long. But yeah, I would have been at school the last time I read them. God, that feels like ages ago. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy rereading them. It's different from the type of reading that I normally do these days, which is biographies, history. I don't tend to go in much for the self-help stuff these days. I've read enough of them to know that once you've read one, you've pretty much read them all. Every single one can be boiled down to the same thing. Just pick a thing and do it. The weather today has also turned out remarkably well. The wind's picked up this afternoon, but most of the day's been sunny, pretty warm, if a little bit muggy. I could have gone down Churnit. Tried to get propeller head done, but oh well. Maybe in the week. So, I think that's all for this video. Because there's not a whole lot else to say about today, really. Therefore, that is the weekend over. I've got 2 videos already uploaded, scheduled for release. I do need to make thumbnails for at least one of them. One's coming out tomorrow, the other's scheduled for Wednesday. I think this is then the next video I need to edit. That'll be Friday, I'm looking at the minute. I'm just trying to keep about a week backlog. So there's always something coming out and I've got something to do without trying to rush stuff out. Be a little more consistent. And then think about what I'm going to do next weekend. I would quite like to do a night or 2 away. That of course depends on how far I get with this. But anyway, if you've enjoyed it, thanks. I've picked up about 10 new subscribers this past week, which is awesome. So thank you for subscribing, if you're watching this. I've put the Wales trip into a playlist, and that playlist will have added trips to it as I do them. So feel free to watch through them as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. Oh, almost forgot. These windows. This one I'm not overly concerned about because that's a very small drip that won't drip onto anything. Well, damage-wise. This one, I'm definitely going to have to take off and redo. So, I'm going to order some cheese wire and a kit to get the window off. Order some bonding stuff to put it back on. And we're just going to have to try and redo that window. I hope it doesn't have any leaks next time. It's annoying, but I think it definitely needs doing, so I'd rather get it done before the end of summer proper. And then this one, like I say, it's not a massive concern. But since I'm doing that one, I may as well get that one off and redo it as well. So yeah, that'll be happening at some point within the next month, I think. It's going to be weather dependent on this job. Right, and I think that one is everything. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. If you can give the video a thumbs up and a comment as well, that also helps. Would be nice to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Would be nice to hit 1,000, but you know, 100 sounds more realistic. Anyway, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a good one. Until the next time. See, I bungled that up. That's the kind of content you can expect here. Bad English.